Hello, everyone, and welcome to Oracle Digital Cloud World. I'm really excited to be here today to share with you our presentation on igniting potential with Oracle Me, the employee experience platform. My name is Nancy Estell Zoder. I'm Vice President of Product Strategy for Oracle Cloud HCM, and super excited to talk to you about some of the capabilities that we've recently deployed, as well as some of the key opportunities we see around how you can, in fact, ignite your employee experience within your organization. But it really starts with igniting the potential. You know, it's interesting to see kind of the transitions that we've seen over the past couple of years around your workforce and the evolution of your workforce. And a lot of this really starts with understanding what motivates your workers. And I actually find this the most interesting. So when we think about, understanding the motivation, it's about understanding the needs. And immediately when I think of understanding needs, I think of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And it starts with some of the key opportunities for workers, because one of the key things that we definitely see is that there's a responsibility of organizations to really look at all of these, this hierarchy of the needs. It really starts with the basic needs. Are your workers truly enabled to be successful? We've seen how this is obviously has changed over the past couple of years. What those basic needs are today is something very different from what those basic needs were 3 years ago and 2 years ago, for that matter. And so really providing your workers with the ability to enable their success is a basic need. Do your workers feel safe? Do they feel that the strategy that you have as an organization and the priority that you've placed on worker safety is demonstrated in the actions for which you provide and support to your workforce? The sense of belonging, right? Ensuring that as a person, you have the opportunity to feel like you belong and connect with your organization. And so really being able to provide that enablement around how your workers are connecting to your organization and culture. And this is where there's a unique opportunity, because those three basic components of that Maslow's hierarchy of needs and where organizations have a responsibility are truly the basics. And unfortunately or unfortunately, over the past couple of years, we've had to come back down to the basics. But ultimately, you're looking for opportunities to really build your workforce, build your workers, build them and ensure that they're getting recognized for their success, and enable them to grow with your organization, but also grow as individuals. So the question really comes down to, do you have solutions in place to ensure that you've got managers and business leaders empowered to support all of those different motivations of your workforce? Now, what's most interesting is a couple of years ago, I wrote a blog specifically about this topic, but more specifically about how to navigate through a disruption, such as a crisis. And using really these laws, or really the hierarchy of needs, rather, not really laws, but this hierarchy of needs to really drive how you can effectively manage what you need to prioritize and how you can ensure that the prioritization to meet your specific organization's needs. And when we think of forms of those motivation, I mean, immediately you go to the two, right? Extrinsic and intrinsic, right? Rewards versus pride in actual work getting done. That's kind of the traditional, right? The traditional aspect of the forms of motivation that HR as well as organizations been really focused on. Either it's salary, compensation, bonuses to motivate employees and workers, or perhaps it's in recognition of the work that they've done, the outstanding work that they may have done, the recognition with their peers or within other parts of the organization. These are two forms of motivation. But one of the things that we have to look at, especially as HR professionals and as business leaders, is the opportunity to go beyond those two basic forms, to look at what are some of the other motivating factors. And to be fair, over the past couple of years, we've really proved that HR really understands and has the knowledge of the workers to look at some of those other motivating factors. which is precisely why we introduced Oracle Me. So Oracle Me is the only complete employee experience platform that empowers talent and business leaders to connect, grow, and thrive. And we've built this platform in support of our enterprise solution across pillars, across lines of business, to ensure that you're providing your workforce with the direction, support that they need in the flow of work. Now, a couple of the key things that we really focused on as part of our delivery of Oracle Me is in recognition of what support was required for the workers. That means that you're providing them with not just the direction to grow with your career, or perhaps in managing some of the HR transactions, updating personal information, perhaps identifying some basic opportunities for them as their next step in their progression within the organization. But it's really taking it one step further, understanding all of the attributes of the person to really drive the experience and the opportunities that are being presented to them. This is where we have a unique opportunity to really show how well HR and business leaders, for that matter, understand their workers and their teams, giving them the information that they need when, where, and how they require it in order to better support their motivation. And probably most important is what we're seeing, especially now, the ability to make those meaningful day-to-day interactions with managers providing that support and those nudges to their workers in order to better support them as they're going through whatever change it may be or whatever interactions required within that point in time. Really enabling managers to enable the worker. And it's not just me saying this. You know, we've actually seen it through our customers. Oracle Me was launched earlier this year, but there are a couple of components of Oracle Me which were introduced in a prior year. And we look at things like journeys, which I'll talk about in just a moment, where we've had over 850 customers who are starting to use journeys for a variety of purposes. We have customers who are live using our HR help desk in order to provide value to their workers and the support they require to support and to manage their expectations in their relationship with the organization. And we're starting to see the adoption of automation of support with use of things like digital assistants. But a lot of this comes as a result of really enabling our customers with the various experiences that they need in order to better support their workers. And we've seen some of these sample experiences, the benefit of them to be really targeted. So here's just a couple of them. I won't go through the entire list of sample experiences, but it is fair to note that, you know, we have over 50 specific industry, market, geography-driven journeys that have been posted out into our Cloud Customer Connect in order to better support our customers as well as our partners as they're deploying some of these sample experiences. I must say that there are some components of this that are quite unique in that we're not just trying to simplify the employee's experience or employee self-service. But what we're ultimately doing is we're elevating the experience to ensure that they have the contextual guidance they require in order to better support what they need right now. So that element of time is a key component of that experience. We're not just navigating through the workflow and giving them, you know, task lists, but ultimately giving them the direction they require based on any attribute of who they are. And so what we've also done, though, is we've taken these experiences by market, industry, geography, market size, customer size, but really taking it one step further. So I talked a little bit about the journeys, help desk, and digital assistant, which are capabilities that we have had available for well over a year now. But what we've introduced this past year is HCM Communicate, which is the ability to target communications to your workforce in order to either nudge them to an experience, push them towards a particular action that needs to take place as a result of where, when, and how they are in relationship with the organization. But ultimately, to be able to ensure that the communication that's directed to that workforce is meaningful and purposeful. I think what we've found over the past many years now is, there's a lot of information being directed to us at any given point in time. We need to ensure that the information is relevant, and more importantly, that it's purposeful and it's action-led. And that's precisely what HCM Communicate provides to your worker population, and ultimately owned by HR, to better support not just the communication in a timely way, but also to ensure, from a security perspective and data privacy perspective, enable the management of these communications from within HCM. Of course, I just mentioned Oracle Journeys earlier, one of the key capabilities within our employee experience platform, for which we've had an enormous amount of success in our customer community and the adoption of this feature. But ultimately, our solution for Journeys is a configuration, the ability for organizations to configure their unique requirements. We, of course, deliver some of those common practices by industry, geography, and market. But ultimately, the opportunity is presented where organizations can define their configuration requirements, as well as personalization requirements, in order to better support that unique experience they want to provide to their workers. I think what I'm most excited about with Oracle Journeys is the fact that this is something that is not just part of an implementation or part of a major update. Oracle Journeys can be effectively managed by your managers, by your supervisors, by local HR, to ensure that the experiences are meaningful today. We don't need to wait 3 months. We don't have to wait until the next update in order to adopt new journeys or experiences. Managers, local HR have the ability to either take existing journeys or even create brand new journeys for their teams in order to better support their experience today. We saw this as a critical need in the past year. And I think that whenever we think of any type of disruption, and I don't think we need another pandemic as a disruption, but in business or in any organization, you are challenged with disruptions over time and various sizes of those disruptions. How you enable your workforce to transition through that disruption, or even to elevate as a result of that disruption, is in the power of your managers as well as local HR hands, by providing them with this configuration solution to support that experience. But automating all of that requires some level of support as well. So we have Oracle HR Help Desk, which we've actually had in our product portfolio for some time now, enabling the support of, as well as the management of, HR service delivery from within HCM, and more importantly, owned and managed by HR. We know that there's a higher level of sensitivity with HR cases, and there's a need for managing to that sensitivity, which is precisely why we wanted to ensure that it was part of our single cloud platform. No integrations, no duplication of data, and more importantly, duplication of personally identifiable data. And so enabling workers, and more importantly, administrators, as well as service delivery professionals, to provide and meet the service level agreements that are in place in order to best support your workers. This means that you've got the ability to effectively manage the service requests and the cases, ensure compliance, either for those more sensitive employee relations cases, but ultimately just the personal data compliance, as well as ensure that you're providing them with the consistent experience that they require based on, again, who and where they are within the organization, based on those attributes of that employee or that worker. And then, of course, we've got our Oracle Digital Assistant. I think that when we think of the digital assistant, we think about all the interactions that we have day to day with a variety of chatbots and digital assistants in our own personal life as well as our professional. And I think having the solution that enables that quick, consistent, automated, and intelligent interaction with the worker enables people like myself who may want to have that interaction at various points of the day. Success in not just getting the response I need when I need it, but where I need it as I'm going through a variety of processes within my organization. So providing me with all the support that I need automated, and as I mentioned earlier, personally with HR help desk. And ultimately having all the information I need in order to be more successful in making some key decisions. So we have data mining solutions and pre-built KPIs that are delivered for the HCM domain directly. We have support of multiple languages and translation, enabling us to ensure that we're providing your customer, your employees, your managers with the information they need to make the best decision possible. And what I'm most excited about with Oracle Me is our most recent delivery. We've just made available our Oracle Touchpoints solution as part of Oracle Me. Now, Oracle Touchpoints is a unique solution in that it is providing enablement of the manager to enable the workforce. And what that ultimately means is the ability to help managers build trust, build confidence with their workers as they're getting nudged and suggested and made recommendations to encourage engagement with their workforce. And what that also means is that it fosters continuous impactful conversations through ongoing check-ins, but also to make recommendations on some key discussion topics that may be beneficial to a particular worker. This means encouraging that engagement, not just from the perspective of ensuring the connectiveness that we want, which is one of those motivating factors that I mentioned earlier, but it's also about ensuring that that worker feels enabled for success, which is another one of those motivators that I mentioned earlier. And looking at all of those different things and being able to provide this as a tool for managers makes us truly unique within the HCM space, which is why I'm really so excited about it. Now, as I've mentioned with all of this, with all of Oracle Me, there are a number of different components of Oracle Me that enable that better support of the employee's experience, the worker's experience, extending it to the manager enablement for those employee experiences. One of the other key things that I mentioned is that are the various best practices or common practices that are in fact available within our solution, as well as within Customer Connect. Now, Customer Connect is our cloud customer community for which we not only have conversations, we have various forums to encourage those conversations around features, topics, best practices, or even things that are going on in the world around us. Interestingly enough, over the past couple of years, there have been a lot of different events that have taken place over the years. And we've had opportunities to engage with customers at scale through our Cloud Customer Connect community to have discussions around how it's impacting them as individual organizations, unique local and industry experiences that they may have as a result of some of those events, and how we can better support our customers, especially going forward, which is why we really see the great opportunity with Cloud Customer Connect and the information we share. And that's exactly why we introduced the HCM Resource Center. And the HCM Resource Center is kind of the go-to for our customers as well as our partners to get downloadable assets, things like journeys and reports, but also other, quick guides or how-tos around configuration for particular industry and or local market. And so with all of this, one of the things that we've been working very closely with our strategic implementation partners is around some of those Oracle Me experiences, those unique local and industry experiences for which There are unique opportunities for especially individual organizations to effectively manage and accelerate the delivery of those experiences. When we get to CloudWorld next month in Las Vegas, we will be announcing the winner of Oracle Me's partner competition. Please stay tuned to hear about the winner of that competition, where they've been able to demonstrate innovation with Oracle Me partner mastered and targeted for a particular industry and or market, or a specific business challenge that we're trying to address. There's definitely a lot more to come on that. Please stay tuned. We'll be making the announcement at CloudWorld in Las Vegas, and we will be posting all of the results out in Cloud Customer Connect for everybody to take advantage of. So hopefully I've been able to demonstrate to you the complete solution for which we address with not just Cloud HCM, but our employee experience platform and how that better supports that innovation and our ability to ignite employee experience for your organization. I look forward to seeing you at CloudWorld in Las Vegas. Thank you for your time.